It's a plethora of opportunities for attacks and positional movements. So, Marty, I haven't seen you in a while, so I'm gonna need you to come over here.
That's right.
I just haven't seen this guy forever.
It's been like a year, hasn't it?
I think, man. Listen,
Be gentle,
okay? It could be like,
Just be gentle.
listen, it could be a week and it feels like a
Well,
year.
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I had to ask, just to make
All right.
sure I was mistaken or not.
So we'll start from mount position, which is usually where I like to go from this position. So do me a favor and put your head towards the wall. All right, so we're in the mount position. And, you know, mount requires a lot of patience for certain attacks, right? Being patient, expecting them to freak out and fight, right? Waiting for you to make that one mistake of off balancing just enough, turning too much this way or that way. From this position, I like to take a more stable position for myself. And the way I'll do that is I need to isolate an arm, or if he pushes my chest, however it happens. When they push my chest, I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna lean in, and I'm not gonna fight him or push him off. If he's pushing straight, I mean like a straight push up here, I still look at my body weight. Notice my arms are leaning forward. Whatever way I wanna go to start this, I'll turn it a little bit. And I can bring my arm across, and I can start to break this down. And I can buddy hand this over to here. We have a gift wrap. Gift wrap is simply this. One arm, their own arm around their head. Same side arm, hand goes under, grabs the wrist. Using their fist as a handle, if they try to slide their arm out, boom, it stops right there. We bring this here. From here, I'm gonna go to the position that we're looking at today, which is the technical mount. If they don't want to turn, you can always bring your hand up here, and as you pull, you push, ratchet them over, and here's our position of the day, guys. Okay, I love this position, and the position looks like this, with a knee behind his back, and the other foot in front of either his hips or his diaphragm, however you feel comfortable, depending on the length of the individual and their size. The purpose of this leg here, tucked neatly behind his back shoulder, is to keep him from rolling back towards me, right? It blocks that. The toes pointing that way, so I can dig my feet in if he tries to roll me that way. My toes can dig in, creating a good block, right? Gently pinched, meaning like my heel touches his body, there's no space, and this leg needs to run up the back, and it needs to be in contact. You don't have to squeeze for dear life, okay? You're not squeezing him to a submission. You're just keeping those appendages stuck to him so that he doesn't feel like he has space. If my foot's too, if my foot's too far out, he can start to push, get underneath, make that space, bring his knee in. Boom, then we got a problem, right? Super flexible guys will just bring their knee in sometimes. So we keep this isolated here. From this position, we have a number of things we can do, all right? We have, and we'll go over 3 today. So the first one is gonna be one that you rarely see people do, but is really effective, especially if he wants to go back on his back, all right? He wants to go back, he's tried a couple times, and you kind of had to hold on to this and kind of hip forward, all this other good stuff, right? And then what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna drop our hand down and underneath, and I'm gonna grab my own wrist, almost like a Kimura grip, right? We're here, and we can lean our chest in. Don't forget to lean your chest in. Be aware that if you do too much leaning and he bumps his hips, you're gonna potentially fall over. Boom, right? So when you lean in, I like to lean in, not so much here, more here. Because if I lean in here and he bumps, yeah, notice I reacted. I lifted up a little bit, shot my hands down. Do it again. He still bumped me a little. If I jumped down and went like this and he bumps, yeah. Still not a bad position, but not the dominant position we just had. When I come down here to get this, I like to straighten my arms out. Does that create a pressure on your neck? Yep. If I just do this, is there pressure? You move your neck around. I like to do this. Creates a tension. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go backwards. How often do we go backwards? Meaning go to a previous position. We normally advance forward, right? So always go forward. Get the knee on belly, go to mount. Claw up high, do the arm bar. Often we don't sit there and go from mount back to knee on belly, unless we're talking about gathering some points for a tournament, right? In this scenario, we're gonna back up, right? He thinks, if I get here, you think I'm gonna go backwards or you think I'm gonna go like start attacking up here? Start attacking. So I'm here, boom. In this scenario, I'm gonna backtrack a little. I'm gonna take my right foot, I'm gonna bring it down on his leg as I sink myself in. Now I lock this in. Notice my hands went from here, here. I'm gonna dip my shoulder down so I get nice and tight, right? I need to get real tight. So I hold on to this. When I'm here, I bring this foot and I put it on top of his thigh or on the outside of his thigh, and I shoot my leg down. This is gonna give me the opportunity to shoot this in. Now that I'm here, I lock however I like, and I don't come off of mount just yet. I bring it in, putting my head to the mat, making it so where he can't raise this up off of his head to head, nice and tight. I keep my grip. Now, if you'd like to finish from here, you can drive forward, dropping your elbow and finish. If you feel the need to come up off of the person, you then will windshield wiper here, foot out, let your body drive forward, get the tap. A little side note, if you're in a tournament, or if you're in a self-defense scenario, or you're with your favoriteest training partner who never lets you get a submission, and you just want to get a tap from them, you can take your knee and put it on their rib cage, and it'll make them make nice, special noises that you may have never heard them make.
One of the only no-gi bow
You've
arrows.
heard me make them. You did.
Boom, here, boom, they're just being like, no, no, or they put their hand by, oh yeah, that defense is great. But if I drop this knee up by his ribs, yeah. Might not be the choke. You can feel it. You put that knee there, you'll actually, as you've got this nice and tight, his escape is to get close to you. That's why finishing that triangle, hidden arm triangle, and this is not germane to the position itself that we're going over today, but to finish your hidden arm triangles, you'll see people walk out away from the person, and the person follows them, right? Because as the hidden arm triangle moves, it starts to create more force on his neck, which closes those vessels off, right? If you're not able to close the vessels off right here, you start angling and it's gonna create more pressure. The delt goes into the neck, closing off the vessels. If they're following you, or they're just tough, and they're not succumbing to it, or he answers the telephone, which is the defense, making that space, put a knee in this rib, start pressing it in. It's just a matter of time before, or if this person's the Terminator, and it's like, not even that's gonna stop you, right? At that point, I would suggest you start compliments or poetry, because it ain't gonna happen.
I can't believe you teach Brody this stuff.
This is right up his alley. So that knee here is gonna create the pressure that we need in order to get them to stop. It'll be a pain compliance or it'll be a choke, right? In either scenario, we started out here. He may try to bridge up, or bridge and turn to one side. Notice I slid here, hand comes to the back, and we grab here. A lot of times you can catch people with this, right? They try to get out of that scenario. We shoot our hand underneath, bring it up tight, just bringing our elbows together like this. This is enough here that we can go from here and start doing different things. But we're gonna back up some, which is not very much. Most people will say, why would I go backwards from here? This is a great position. You can always go to the next few things we're gonna show. But if you would like to, right? So at that point, I'm gonna start to come down, shooting my arm deep, keeping this head-to-head connection as soon as you can get it. If you need to, you can cup his armpit here as you begin to lower him to the mat, and then get your grip. However you like the grip, it's up to you. Here, and then my favorite way of finishing it is not the knee in the rib or walking away. I like to use what Donnie showed us a few years ago, driving your body weight forward. And this keeps me from having to squeeze so much. I come across here, I come up on my toes, now watch, I'm gonna drop, and then I'm gonna let my body weight just start driving forward. It's terrible. Brings everything to the head, right?
Cranking.
It can be. Yes.
When you already have him in that technical mount and he's already on his side and you shoot your arm through, is there any reason why you wouldn't just
Lock it in there.
yeah, just keep while he's on his side and instead of putting the shoulder into the neck, taking the forearm.
Right here?
Yeah, exactly.
This is not going to be much of a choke, right? What is this, Mark? Is this crank choke?
really hard.
See how he's talking? And this is just scenario if you want to finish the head and arm, guys. This is not, you're gonna find, I'm gonna show you a couple more that are just like, bro, it's so simple, I'm gonna go do that, which is fine. This is when you get to the point where you're like, I'm getting a head and arm on this person. I'm challenging myself to get this specific move. And it's an option.
Still a good lockdown though.
It's a good control, I'll admit. But here's the problem, if I lock in here, or I grab this, there's still space. Martin sees that, and he comes here. Even if I go here, notice my leg just got taken, right? So if he's up here, we're on our side, I get my grip, I preemptively put my foot on his thigh because I know that's where he's thinking. He's gonna reinsert. So as I go here, I drop. Now, reinsert, grab my thigh, or grab my leg. Now I'm in this position here to finish it. And even there, I wasn't even using my full body weight, I was going for it. Don't get me wrong, the ones I'm gonna show you here in a minute, you're like, I'm not even gonna do the first one. I'm showing you it's an option because they'll be less likely to think you're gonna back away and go backwards. And when I say backwards, go from this dominant S technical mount to triangle, arm bar, back take. Things like that are easily there, you could back down, right? Because if you're rolling with somebody and you try to take their back from this position, which we'll go over in a second, and it hasn't worked for you, or you try to do the arm bar and they always get out. That scenario there is one of surprise, but it's also one where when I get into that head and arm position, it's pretty much there, right? Duck my shoulder down, get that head and arm, and then now it's in really tight, right? You ever tried to get a head and arm on somebody and it's not as tight as you thought it was, and they immediately answer the phone, you got all that space you have to deal with? With this one, they're not ready for it, you can do it. I like to go with the hard one first, guys, and then the rest of them are easy, because then it's like, there's the dessert after you had your meat and vegetables. All right, any questions? Give it a try on 3. 1, 2, 3. So the first thing you're gonna do here, you're gonna extend your arm like this. Try to bring your elbows together. Yeah, and it's a distracting move. But you know what you're about to do, right?
Head over.
No, you're good. Why? Because you feel like he's gonna block you?
Yeah, my weight's
No. Yeah, so now, is he gonna go head over top now? No. See your knee slid up more? That's more control. Now before you let go and sink your shoulder in, you're gonna slide your hips more towards the front and take your right foot and start to put it on his thigh. Your preemptive, yes. Now drop your shoulder in deep. Drop your shoulder, your right shoulder in deep. You're gonna let go and just sink it through. Like shoot it all the way through.
Yeah.
Now bring it up to your head. Right? So here.
This one's gonna loosen up.
Now as you flash him out, take that right foot, yes, and curl it in.
Palm down.
Now go ahead and finish. Does that feel tight, Matt? Felt tight from the minute you got it till now, right? Slide off. There you go. See how it felt tight from the jump? Because you had it. And then as you moved his body with your foot, you're starting to move it. You're sinking it. The key is to move the foot first. And going towards his back.
Oh,
Gives him less opportunity to finish straight back. And you've got that whole grip. So do you feel like at any point you can just bring your hand over your head? That's the key. You're holding that arm, right? Until you get to the point. Watch how the time is. So here.
My right foot stands out.
He might be getting swirly, so I bring this up. That kind of negates him wanting to turn, right? Because he wants to turn on his back, and I'm like, no. But I'm going to turn him on his back, right? So we're going to do what he wants, just at my time. Now, as I come here, this hand can start to slide, and it doesn't feel like I've let go of the lock. Matter of fact, the lock starts to feel tighter. And I put my foot here, as he goes with this part, boom. Tight, still not, still tight, still tight. I haven't gotten to the position, haven't even let my weight go. See how that felt tight all the time? See, now we're here. You can start to run back. So this is just avoid that.
Just control position. And so at the same time, we're gonna palm down on our right foot, scooping his thigh.
Here, Eric, come do it.
We're shooting our right foot.
Come here, come do it.
Getting our gears here. And then we can scoop that right leg over the body.
Here, right?
Right leg over the body.
Now, what I'm gonna do here is this. I'm gonna bring this up.
Yes, heavy.
Yeah, because if he tries to go to his back, he'll get to your hip. And guess what? We're gonna let him have what he wants, just in our time, right? So I'm gonna take my foot first. I can let this go and start shooting at some point in time. As I bring his back, boom. Hand on the mat, and I'm here.
The guy on the street ain't gonna be like, hold on, I'll let you get the right.
Haven't even really,
Yeah.
I haven't even started to dismount and let my body weight do it.
Just feel it right back in here and then just down first.
Okay.
Okay, so. Okay.
Windshield. On back, on back.
Here. Go back to that. Get him all the way up on his side. No, all the way up on, start from the beginning. So you're technical, right? You got your gift wrap. You got it locked. Check this out. You're gonna move that left foot first. Watch this, wait. Let go and start sliding your hand through. No, come back. Stays. Just lets go. Slide through. He never gets a break. Nice and easy. Bring him to his back with your foot. Drop your head to the mat. There you go. Now cinch it up. Notice that you never gave him an opportunity to breathe. Marty, do you feel like you got an opportunity to let your hand go? So when I'm here, I know you didn't get to see it. You were there, right? So we're here, right? CJ feels like he wants to roll left or right. I cinch it up and I stop him. Boom, this locks him up. I'm safe here. He's off the ground. He can't really do much, right? So I'm here. Now watch. As I get ready to go, I'm heavy. Watch. That's your and you can start to squeezing right forward. As this happens, from the minute I started leaning in forward and dismounting, the pressure was there. Never let up. It only got worse and worse and worse as I dismounted. Like, did you feel like your arm was free to go like this? In the very beginning, like you could, like when I had it like this, before that. But after I got here, this hand can start to let go and go for that head motion without letting go of the gift wrap. See what I'm saying? So you think you have to let go of the gift wrap and get there.
So you look over the wrist like as he's flat on the back.
Once he's flat on his back, you feel you have it cinched in, then you can let go of the wrist. So get your gift wrap, get your core grip, cinch him up, pull him tight, straighten your elbows. Sit up and straighten your elbows. Yes. Just stops that. Ready? Now you could, yes. Drop your head. But once you're here, now you can, yeah. Now dismount and let your weight, foot out to the side. Let your weight slide forward.
Okay.
You're just letting everything go.
That one, and then grab your wrist.
And relax, breathe.
I'm gonna roll.
Okay. Did you get a chance to try it? So you see what the importance of bringing it up is. Stops him, but it also
Yeah, you gotta try to get that against this.
the gift wrap hand cinches everything tight and takes away a lot of his movement.
just lean forward.
Gift wrap hand, wrist hand,
Just like so.
and start sinking in. Once you feel like you've got it, then you
And
let
then
the
you
gift
see
wrap go.
this is like over the side of my neck.
And then you're so tight, you're forced to put one phone up, answering the phone. You're most likely still gonna see, especially if you're good with weight distribution.
Right.
This is
So
pinching.
dismounting
This
part,
side's
you want to apply pressure.
Okay.
Nice and snug. Don't,
We'll try that same
but
thing.
nice and snug. Continue to apply your body weight pressure. Dismount and then let your whole body weight pressure go forward. See what I'm saying?
This.
When you're saying dismount, you're talking about you slid your leg down and you
Slide, slide. Dismount.
Twist. Nope, there you go.
You're going forward, not into the I'm not. So when I'm here, this is the way that's
Once we get elbow deep and people chin, palm down, now we let go of this.
we can squeeze. Ready?
Grab our own hand, we gotta grab our own hand.
Back up a little.
Now we can show wiper.
Come up on your toes. Feel it? Just my body weight just slide forward.
Once that elbow
Feel it? You're not
chin, I can let go of it.
It's the little detail that really makes the difference. Right here.
Actually, I think you're supposed to grab maybe this.
If I start
That way,
down,
it's like, I can't get it out of here.
Yeah,
See what I'm
yeah,
saying? Straighten.
Oh.
And in class, I can't even, in tournaments, I don't.
My right leg's gonna palm down on this bottom thigh and shoot all the way down. I mean, I've got that. We're gonna crack on that, let go of this now, grab my other hand. And then knock it through my right leg.
one detail I do, guys, are you talking about positioning your forearm?
Yeah.
Do you do it like this, or do
You wanna try it again?
Yeah.
I think try doing it like this.
His was like this.
Just watch this now. This is why I do it this way. Lay your head back flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
No, watch.
okay, so now we're here.
So now, when you press, you're here.
Palm down,
That's the extent.
Pop that just on
Here, you chop off the. Now when I put pressure on it, it's going. If I go here and put pressure, put someone's head under that pressure. I'm putting it here.
Yes. So now,
And you go ahead. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you.
this hand, you can grab my own hand. This hand, you can put your other hand and then circle off on the side. Flat, you get flat. Put the roller onto your lap. You get flat, you stay on top.
I feel like the first one was very different.
Yeah, that's weird. Next is more crazy. It isolates your head up off the mat so that everything's compressed, right? Versus when I'm like this and I'm doing it. It's weird. It's one of them weird. But I'm like this. And I prefer a S grip.
And this
I don't do this.
I wanna be like this.
I don't do this. I do a weird S grip.
One knee
I
on
see
the
this
body,
one
the
thumb up.
other knee's out here like
And I'll
this.
come in like that,
Lean
or like that. Yeah. And that's one of the things that's weird. Like everybody in jiu-jitsu is like, there's so many grips and different angles and places to be. People love to finish like this. I was just saying I like to put my thumb up here behind their neck, and I grab either this S grip or that S grip, depending on how I'm feeling, and then I'll finish it that way. I feel that's more successful for me. Really like the gable grip. You know what I mean? It's like a cup of coffee. It's how much cream or sugar you want in it. Makes it right for you. Come here, Marty. So, like I said, guys, that was the most difficult of them, right? I'm here with Marty. I'm coming in here. I'm messing with his neck. He's trying to protect it. I say, good job. Good protection. I bring it, feed it. I'm here in this technical mount again. Safety, defense, self-defense purposes. Marty wants to punch me. I'm like, go ahead, punch me. I grab behind his tricep, and I keep the gift wrap, and I ride him like a seahorse under the sea. Since everything's better, down where it's wetter. And then we're here. I'm looking for his buddies, all the way back there, all the way back there. If I see a crowd of people saying, get off of my friend, and I go, okay, I pick him, and I drop him, and I'm out. I can bounce and leave, head to the door, right? But if I'm a police officer, or I got a knife in my pocket, or whatever the case, I can get right here, still got my technical. I'm here, I've got both arms isolated. If he's covered in baby oil, which Marty likes to do at the beach, boom, I come down to his wrist, I make a thing around his wrist. I'm not even gonna try to hold on to him here. If his arm gets free, well, guess what? I got a foot here, I can kind of move it up as I rock back, hook a leg, I can be here safe. And if I too want to get into the punching game, I've got options. I would just be like slapping him. His hand stays here, he doesn't like to get hit. Now mind you, he's gonna be bucking and moving, which is fine, but he can't move much, right? I'll ride up a little bit, 8 seconds, rodeo, you know? But this distracts him. He's like, I don't want to get hit in my head, right? He's just showed us the one we're gonna do next. So as he turned down a little bit, I'm gonna get here, sliding my knee up. Watch what I do. I'm going to one cheek, two cheek, we're taking his back. One cheek, two cheeks. Now I got his back. And I can wrap him up. For jiu-jitsu purposes, you'll then work into your straight jacket, grab his arms, get your choke. So it's basically the transition to the back. We're here, Marty's on his side, boom, boom, boom. Get right here, your knees behind his back. You've basically got one hook already in. You don't want to fall straight that way, and you don't want to fall or try to lift his whole body. You're gonna come under. I'll sometimes come under here and grab here as an extra lever, and I'll pull him up into my lap. One cheek, two cheeks, boom. And I went there. We were there. Now we're facing this way. I'll bring this foot across his hip, put the other one on his hip, and I'm here until I decide if I want hooks, body triangle, or if I just want to monitor it here. I like keeping this loose in case he drops his hand just below his chest line, nipple line. I can get that. Now it's a, where do I want to go? 2-on-1 technique. One more time. here. I decide I want to get this. I get the double. I can get this grip. Get whatever. Knee comes up, right? Foot's already in the hook situation. I come up. I pull him up onto me. One cheek, other cheek. Now we're on the back. Land on an angle, guys. Here, right? Because if you're here, this foot's across his hips, and let's spin. Oh, spin. All right. This is across his hips in case he wants to put his back on the mat. It's gonna be more difficult for him. Yes. Right? Naturally, this is the weak side for me because I don't have this arm over, right? So I'm gonna start doing this. He's not worried about weak, strong side. Keeping my head between him and the mat. I can move, boom. Bring him to the other side, now I'm on the strong side. There's weak sides, strong sides for everything, guys. It just depends on how you know, if you know how to retain the position. Weak side, meaning my choking arm is on the top side. There's nothing down here. My head goes down there. And I start messing with it. If he doesn't address it, you're gonna choke him. If he addresses it, it means he stops fighting and escaping. He's defending his neck, right? So then you can either grab his neck, pull him to the other side, or just keep choking him. You'll be in that scenario. But I guarantee you the second your head moves, he's gonna dip his head to the mat and starts to escape. If you fall to the side with your arm choking him, guess what? That's the strong side. So now, go for your choke, okay? Any questions on that? Super easy compared to the first one. On three. 1, 2, 3. Yep. So switch his arms. It's always going to be the Giftwrap side is always going to be the top arm. There you go. Yep. So for this, you want to go ahead, see where your knee's at. Slide your knee up as high as you can towards his neck. Perfect. Now reach your right hand underneath, like this. So here, under his arm, and go like this. Either like that, or you can just cup his forearm. Boom. Yes. See how you got a lifting? Now you're not going to haul him straight up. You're going to haul him at an angle, but you're going to go onto one cheek as you pull him to you, and the other cheek, roll it, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. Yes. Now, and if he keeps rolling like that, you know, you can just start, don't throw this hook yet. Push, and then start to come up. So you would have to come up with him and follow him, right? Yeah. But guess what? The beautiful part is you have a Giftwrap. He's not going to go far because he's doing this. Yeah, he can't go very far.
You can pause right there. Yes,
Like,
now
yep.
all the way to the other side.
Don't crush anything. There you go.
Either stay palm to palm on a heel, palm to palm on the legs.
There you go. He was making a good point. If you feel like they're low in the transition and you've got the one cheek and they're kind of in that sitting position together, you can actually pull them up a little bit. Feel like you need to get them out closer to the side. Feels like he's scooting out. You want in that transition, but then once you get here, it's up to you. So I like to bring this across the hands, kind of his chin. You can't take your foot and put this out like thigh with it. So it's perfect. One, two, is hip bone where you're not going to pull to the other side. You pull and pressure on the hips. It's tough. So now he's got pressure there. And now he's got to try to protect his arm. You got a submission there. You can put your hand underneath. So that one felt actually a nice one.
Just say that for another green crab.
Okay.
This one?
I didn't grab the arm, I just grabbed the arm.
It helps me pick you up. Because if I'm grabbing mine, I feel like I'm shrugging. If it's a big dude, that's not going to happen. So if I get some more leverage, because it felt like when you used this one, I was light and you like bring it up. Yeah, it was really cool.
Come out on the other side. we're staying tight. And whenever you land on that first butt cheek, you're gonna pull me upwards, all as we roll over. You can to start off with, but at the end.
Because
Because I like to be chin to chin with them whenever we're rolling.
Well, that's fine. And what I would do from here is just, I would sit here. If he wants to, so in this scenario, go ahead and go back to where you're at just now, that grip. If his hand's here, right? What you can do is just bring this hand here to his neck. Bring this to his neck. Oh, not your arm. Grab his neck. Just cup it right there. Now your hand's free. Goes his wrist. You can push this down. And now you got two hands. And then that, once you do that, take this hand and bring it out. So now you're in place. It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. You want to protect. If you start to try to punch you, then you just trade it off. If everything else fails, you don't know where to grab, but you want to grab this arm. Just reach up and grab his neck. Good. Even if you don't get for the, just grab his neck.
I've been using that one hand gift wrap so that way
here and
on
grab
the
it.
roll I can
Try to
manipulate this arm.
bring it out. Bring your arm all the way out. This one stays. This one comes all the way out.
And so whenever I realize like people my way, I can do that. It's like, oh.
But from here, you can start to get it underneath.
Now we're here.
Yeah,
It's working
switch
butter
to
knife.
the other side.
Knuckle
Pull
in.
him up. Perfect. There you go. Now we're in a bad spot. Now just under. It's a lot of trade-off when you're in that position of what's going on, because those guys were throwing in like some punches. Like if the guy's punching you, how you would trade your hands, block, move. If you guys are in this scenario where you got somebody's back and you're trying to hand fight, grip fight, and you got a free hand, let's say you're not in fighting, you're not self-defense, you're just doing jiu-jitsu. Grab the neck. Just reach across and grab the neck. Because if they're trying to escape, that might be enough to just call it a false grip. I don't know why. It seems like a grip to me. It's right here, boom, on their neck. You can pull them close, but it also gives them a sense of like, there's danger, right? Danger, danger? Okay. All right. And now we're gonna go with the last one. Boom. Walk this up. Here, right? I come in, I get my grip again, here, right? And Marty's here. And guess what I've decided, guys? I just want to be oldest, schoolest of old schools. I told you, you're gonna be like, why would I even do that first head and arm triangle? All this stuff is super easy. That's there. Grip, tighten him up. I'm here, get him tight, slide up some, right? If he's trying to defend with that arm, or whatever case, you can chain these off. If he ducks his hand under to try to throw you off, oh, perfect. I'm gonna let go of his head to show this position, so I'm not killing him right now. I want you guys to walk around here and look back here. Which way am I leaning?
That's your left.
And what am I leaning on?
Hips.
Him. Am I leaning on your hips or am I leaning on your diaphragm? Diaphragm. I'm here. I've got him pulled up. Is that worse? Because when I pull up, I'm pressing my leg into his diaphragm. I'm balancing myself on him. Look. More pressure. When he reaches under my leg, he sets himself up for what?
Triangle.
Triangle, easy. If he explodes, oh, heavens. We're here. Notice there's some space here. It's not my problem, it's his problem. Because this will still finish. It's gonna be more of a crank for him, right? But as he turns over, we don't loosen up. If it slides in and he tries to slide this elbow out, it's gonna lock him in some more. Arm bars, keep this so he doesn't punch me in the head, right? I can extend my hips. Arm bar, wrist lock, punch, elbow, however you like, right? So you have a combo of, right here on this side. You have a combo of arm bar, triangle. Depends on what he wants. Does he want the arm bar, does he want the triangle? It's his choice. It's his world. We're Burger King and Jiu-Jitsu right here. Boom. Marty, what you want? You want this triangle? Reach under. I've done this before and been like, reach under that leg, and Joker's like, right? So I come in, nice and tight. I have to get this arm out. I don't want to do this. Don't let go of your control. Just like in the head and arm triangle. I'm here, but I'm up. Here I'll pinch. If he grabs his grip to control it, I'm fine with that. You can still transition into the triangle if you leave space. Put your foot through. If not, and you just want this arm bar, watch this. Watch my left foot.
That sucks.
All you gotta do is let go.
Yeah.
The finish for this arm bar is across my hip joint here, not here, because his elbows, it may end up hurting him more if I do it this way, tearing ligaments and stuff. But if I bring this here across my hip, the other knee just kind of goes in as I angle. I don't feel like he's gonna bridge me. Bridge me?
No.
He can do it without his arm, right? Doesn't make it worse. What would be the key to that whole scenario to control him when I'm going for that arm bar? What would you think it is? What's over the what?
The head, your face.
When I started going like this with my foot,
Yeah, I got a big nose. This sucks.
when I start walking that foot back, his head's doing this number. Where the head goes, the body's got to follow. And if the body can't follow, it's very uncomfortable. That whole let me keep this arm bar, let me not tap to this arm bar starts to go, that's not as important in my life as my head going this way. And notice, when you're there and you're comfortable, you don't have to rush. You don't have to flip that leg around and let go and then grab it again. The whole scenario right then was just constant control. I waited till he wanted his head out of the loop, or if I felt an opportunity, I could bring that out, okay? In training, apply that pressure. Let your weight sit on it, right? That's what we're here to do. We're here to apply pressure, keep our good balance, okay? Anybody want to see it again? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Remember guys, you can do triangle or the arm bar. So if you want, are you going for the arm bar?
Yeah, that's not the number.
So keep that grip nice and tight, pull him up. Now, you make some space, you can now, if you're ready, cross that elbow, that left elbow under his head. And your grip never changes, right? Now drop that elbow around his head. Boom, now set your leg over. Lean on him. Nice. Now, extension. Start walking your foot back. Walk your foot back.
Oh, this one, yeah. That's
My problem.
Come on, Dylan, get up a little higher.
Drop it.
Sit like here.
Low, but you don't have to.
Yeah, that's probably.
Foot back. So once you get there, you need to start pulling that arm up and out of the reach of his.
Once I pull the head back.
Yes, but the goal is to stay up.
Right.
So you gotta imagine he's probably gonna be trying this. So go ahead and this time do it. Grip now. Go let the arm bar go. Your goal is to walk that foot back. You're gonna walk it like this.
Yes, you usually want like this part of your thigh.
So you'll be sitting.
You want to face in here.
Now,
Right, nice. Now start to drop to your knees. You walk back
When
over.
you're like a little bit
Bring your knee
back.
close to his neck. Stay up like that. Yes, yes. Keep the leg nice. Yep. Now here. Lean here. Don't drop. Start doing this. You're gonna eventually drop your knee to the mat. Drop this knee to the mat.
That's the.
Don't. Yeah.
Oh, I see. There's
Yeah.
another way. This
I'll
arm
keep
bar.
it moving.
Next to his neck. Give him space to get out.
This arm bar.
Keep shooting it backwards.
Whenever you're doing your.
And you should be bringing up his arm at the same time. So if he's resisting here, you want this to go. How much do you really want to resist? It's a balancing thing. It's a you gotta practice. It's a weird spot because you're kind of doing this.
You feel like you just want to lean it back.
You do, because naturally we're talking lean back in the arm bar. I'm in a motion now.
I know,
like
always
a
tight.
season where I'm just people arm bars don't fall. Why would you fall? You can finish it from on top. Why would you give them the opportunity to get out, right? So you end up in this.
That's really what my problem is, the hips. Damn sure can't get that.
Oh, good point. Stay on top. Because now, once you get that good tension, I don't want to drop you back. That might be all you need to pop. And now they're like, that head control is huge. Back.
Get this in.
One day you can do a split.
Hold on. So when you walk your foot up, now drop your head. Nice. Yes. Bring this up all over your hip.
Yeah.
Up. Now switch your wrist. This is your shoulder. This hand, open it up. Open this hand up.
10 to 15 minutes sucks. That sucks in the first 5 minutes.
Now go like
After that, it feels way better. And then
I'm sorry.
Scale tall building.
You want it.
it takes time. It takes time. Cast all the way back. Yeah.
Came in.
Great wrist control above the elbow. And so from there, you can stand up nice and straight.
Notice I bring this
Hips out,
here now.
feet back, hips out. You can stand there straight like a flagpole. Or you can decide to scoot your hips in, switch your feet out and fall backwards with it. As long as you keep that arm. But we're going to fall, we're going to fall slow. We're not falling, we're scooting.
Reaches, can't get it.
Well, no, it's more about
If I need
like,
to, then I go
fall,
small.
you're giving them a
this,
chance for space to happen and then to yank out.
Cross this way. I bring it up here.
One
It may
to
work.
the arm, one to the
What's
wrist.
here? Definitely do this. Remember we showed. So if I'm here with him, he tries to belly down and turtle, and he can for some reason.
Anytime
He starts
scrambles in the head,
forward.
shit happens.
Yeah.
This happens.
Right back.
We don't want this.
Here. Then belly down and turtle.
You have to understand, their elbow is here, and your point of hip, inflection point is below their elbow. They're gonna carry that weight because it's on their shoulder. You're gonna take the front of their arm from weight to this part of their arm is going to stay.
I want to bring it across like here. So as he goes to belly, he's gonna arm bar.
Well, you have
This he tries to go down.
Normally, you just you might get this by, but then your whole arm.
I mean, literally, this is an arm bar.
It's weird, you've never done
It's all, it takes 51%.
aggressive.
I've had to learn that in the last couple of months.
Yeah, you don't want to mess their face up.
51% is enough to kill somebody.
If you're in that scenario,
1%.
you're trying to get
It means you're gonna work harder for that kill.
let go of it.
Versus 70%
My
versus
mind,
70%.
Instead of feeling bad,
51% will
I
fit.
always had the option to let go.
And it's
Like, bro, you put
a lot of
yourself
things
through
open
it,
up for me. Like if I can get here,
Don't hit yourself. Don't hit yourself. Don't hit yourself.
if I can get my over that line, I'm up here. I'm doing great now. They're in a panic mode. They're in a inside mentality.
All right, guys. So options from the technical mount. There's always more. You can find some new ones. You can do some weird ones. That first one, super technical, requires a lot of control, a lot of pressure, patience, good base. The other two, pretty standard. They're there. They're pretty simple for you to get, right? That arm bar at the end was scooping the head. We were just talking about it. You know, it's a point where you're like, I'm gonna rough their face up. If you do it controlled, it's gonna be uncomfortable. You're gonna push that back, and you eventually want your knee on the mat with their head stuck behind your thigh so you can push it back. There's two ways of looking at it. Man, I'm such a jerk for pushing their head back like that. Or they can make it all stop by letting go of that arm bar control, that arm bar defense. As soon as they let go of that, we'll just, all right, I'll let you out. So two ways of looking at it, you know what I mean? But good stuff, like I said, self-defense. You ever get in a real fight with somebody, pop, 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 goes to the ground. As soon as you can get a gift wrap with a technical mount, you're golden. The only way you're gonna mess up that scenario is if somebody comes out of the woodwork you didn't see, or you make a mistake, right? I mean, even if they're covered in baby oil and they slip their arm out, you can go right back to mount. Run your hands underneath their arms, make them look like this. You're still in a great position, guys, until you go back to the technical mount. Back to the technical mount. Very great place to be. Any questions? On through this bow out and do some rolling. Guys, so you know, no matter what the nights do, we're just keeping the mornings the way they always are. Tuesday's gi, Thursday's no gi. No. No, I mean, we needed to say it because at nighttime they're changing. They used to, guys, we used to do no gi, explicitly no gi was 2 months out of the year, June and July, and that was it. And just about the time you got your rhythm in no gi, went right back to the gi 24/7 here at the gym. And I talked to Possum, and I was like, man, I want to do more. And other guys were saying, man, I'd like to do more no gi. And so we decided that we would do a switch, right? So I think they're doing 3 months this year, March, May, June, July. You'll hear about it. But we also started to do it in the mornings. I know I talked to CJ, I was like, man, we just do 1 day no gi, 1 day gi. Let's
Life's
do it.
already confusing now.
It is. Let's not confuse it. Always Tuesday gi, always Thursday no gi. And that way you get at least 2 days a week where you can switch back and forth, okay, no matter what the night classes do. Most of our open mats in the morning that CJ's been running, guys, keep an eye out on the message board for that. Those are actually very amazing. You come in here, even if it's 4, even if it's 8, it doesn't matter. You get in, get some like good rounds in, you get your day started, all right? Keep together.